Hey everyone, welcome to week 48, which is called Bubble and Lightning. So, my name is Todd Savvas and I'm a spiritual teacher, as hopefully you know by now. This is your weekly recap or weekly review of the energy and lessons that you encountered over the previous week. So, as you'll notice, these clips are a little bit longer than what most people would put on YouTube, but it's unfortunate that, you can't condense down every single day into a smaller clip. So hopefully you can bear through the length and duration and get what you need to from it. So let's have a look at the cards that we had for the previous week, and then we can explain what that title means and what you will have learnt from it. So, first card we started out with last week was Archangel Azrael, and Archangel Azrael is the Archangel of Death, which would have also been commonly referred to as the Reaper. And so, essentially, him being present at the very start of last week, there was setting a tone that this week was going to be about really identifying things that were dead, and then from that having them taken away. And so there could have been a little bit of an internal struggle in regards to noticing things that were dead and then not wanting to actually release or let go of them. But of course, as you will have sort of gotten the gist of by now, the only way to grow is to let go of things that are dead, and that can be unfortunate. Sometimes it can be sad, sometimes people react to it, but it's the only way that you'll be able to connect with growing and with evolution. So the next card is the Heart, and so this card following death is essentially saying that exactly what I mentioned just before. There was going to be a massive heart triggering that was going to sort of occur within you, and that was always going to be because this week was going to show you every single wound, pain, any kind of energy or element that you've really been holding on to, and probably subconsciously, but surrounding emotions, surrounding things that have happened to you, surrounding things like betrayal or being hurt by someone or being broken up with. Any of those energies all sort of tune in together, and it always came down to that your heart would have been holding on to those wounds, and so this day was going to bring them up for you so that you could release them for once and for all. So next card was Suitors Who Are Not Right. So this card pops up whenever we're going to be around people that aren't necessarily going to be the best for us. That can mean relationships, that can also mean any type of career opportunities as well, so business managers or agents or anyone we want to go into business with in general. It doesn't really matter what business it is. And so whenever this card is present, there was always going to be a theme of, oh, you're going to have opportunities come forward. There could be new ways of connecting and new types of relationships, but you really want to have a little bit more of a thought about whether or not that person's actually in alignment with you. And the only way you were going to really feel into that will have been because at the start of the week you really decided you were going to let go of some things, and on the next day it activated your heart and you were going to identify and observe the wounds that came from those people that you now have let go of. And so this was going to give you new opportunities to really discern whether or not you've gotten out of the cycle of these people aren't right for me, I want something different, better, or more evolved. So next card was the X will come back for healing to occur. And this card, again, it's all about someone from your past returning to you with the hopes of something occurring between the two of you that will then allow them to heal, transform, or move forward. And so the meaning and the message behind that card on that day was essentially that while people may want to come back and reconnect with you, whether subconsciously they want to heal or whether consciously they actually want you back in their life, you needed to decide whether or not that actually will work for you. And the only way you were going to know that will have been if you went through the process of really discerning what was old, what needs to go, and I'm choosing something different for myself. So the card after that was Magic Powers. And so this is a really positive shift that was going to occur. And so when Magic Powers appears, it's always a prompting that you're being advised that there's power within you that you're not tapping into right now. And so whenever this card comes up, it's Spirit's way of saying, whatever's going on in your life, don't complain about it and don't feel stuck in it. Do something about it. use the magic or use the energy that you've got within you and find the blockage that's occurring somewhere within and then shift it. And we would recommend by doing it something like a candle spell or lighting some incense and making a wish. I mean, every time someone has a birthday and they light candles and they make a wish, that's a spell. And so you can apply that same type of methodology to whatever you want to shift in your life. You just need to create a practice and then do whatever you've determined will evoke change, and then stick with it. And then the final component is obviously trust that you've been able to shift that through your energy. So the next card was skills and gifts. And so Spirit had this card following magic powers because they wanted you to then turn your attention to the things that you're really great at, the things that you've been gifted with, natural talents, predispositions to succeed in certain types of things, whether it's athletic, whether it's communication, whether it's art, whether or not it's dancing, whether or not it's writing. It doesn't really matter what it is. It just mattered that you spent time connecting and expressing those things, because you were going to find that when you did what you're good at, you were going to get other opportunities sort of magnetized towards that energy. And the only way that would occur is if you spent time doing what you've been gifted in. And then the last card is career change. And so this card coming up at the very end of the week, when we look at the start of the week, which was all about death and letting go, the very end of the week, a career change was meaning that, again, as with last week, it was going to pay off for you for letting go of the old stuff. And so career change was essentially saying that there are going to be dynamic shifting within your career, where you want to go, what you're going to do, how you want to do it, but also who's going to help you do it. And that was all part of clearing the people that don't need to be there anymore, so that I can create space for someone else to enter and assist me moving forward. And so when we look at the symbol that Spirit gave me for the week, which was bubble and lightning, the way the Spirit sort of showed me this was that this week was all about feeling that sense of, oh, I'm growing and I'm evolving, and now I'm seeing how things can be different in life. So essentially you were the bubble. You were floating above all of these things, and subconsciously there's an element of, I'm really getting it now. I understand how to move forward, and I understand what this spiritual stuff is all about, and I understand what life is about. And so when that bubble had taken you up above all of the experiences, that's when the lightning came. And so the lightning struck through the bubble, and suddenly you found yourself fallen on the ground and needing to then build yourself step by step and brick by brick to get to the point you'd seen in the bubble. So the bubble is sort of the view or the sense of enlightenment, or the view or the sense that things can be different. And then the lightning rod is a way of creating the necessity to build yourself up there practically. So it's wonderful and good to have illuminations and to feel inspired by ethereal forces, but then you need to be able to build yourself there and create foundations and roots, so that you don't get sort of swung from every single little bit of energy that may sweep through, because everything in this world is changeable. And so if you don't have some kind of center and connection and understanding of how you got to where you have feel, or how you've gotten to where you feel illuminated about, then you will always be swung side by side. And that's why so many people experience depression or bipolar, all of those things. Obviously, there can be elements and times when it's a chemical issue, but we all experience that same swing, and it's because we swing dependent upon what energies throw us around. So we within ourselves got pushed this week to go back to basics and to create the foundation that was then going to get us to where we perceived. So if you experienced that sort of energy of disappointment, so you thought you'd gotten so far, and then this week sort of pulled you down and said, you've seen it, but now you've got to actually get it. Don't be disheartened, because that was all what this was all about. So now we've got a message. A message, a question, that's what I'm talking about. So this question comes from YouTube, and it's from Future Mix TV, and he said, or they say, quick question, what does it all mean? And thank you. And so I'm just going to assume that this means, what does it all mean, as in like, what does life mean? What is it all about? Why are you here? And so the way that the Spirit has always described this to me, and the way that's also given me the most peace about it, is to bring it back to one simple truth. You are here to grow and evolve and to become more cognizant, couldn't even get the word out then, cognizant and conscious with each and every day that you experience. And so what we mean by cognizant and conscious, it comes down to I'm more aware. And through that process of becoming more aware, I become capable of being more loving because I understand more of life. And so Spirit describes that as that if you put that as your number one reason for being, so when you wake up in the morning, it's in each and every day, I'm striving to become more conscious and more cognizant and to become more loving. And I do that through experiencing a variety of data and information. And so anything that comes from that point, whether it be career success or career decline or relationship amazingness or relationship crap, it doesn't really matter, because in each and every day you bring yourself back to that state of I'm here to just expand consciously. I'm here to experience all of these types of things. And so that way you really allow yourself to just experience life and to experience the growth, as opposed to getting so fixated upon, oh yeah, life is all about me becoming more spiritual, and life is all about me becoming a millionaire. All of those things, they can be part of it, but the Spirit's directive for you being here and your reason for being is just to experience variety, and through that experience to become more aware. So when you apply that in your everyday, feel into how that just makes things feel a little bit easier, and there's a little bit less pressure, because that pressure doesn't come from Spirit. That pressure comes from your inner critic. And so in every day you're aiming to sort of unwind that ego self and that inner critic, because it's not offering you any truth. And so as long as you keep your focus on, okay, this is an experience that's happening to me, and now I'm allowing that experience to then evolve me further, and through that evolving I'm already living up to my expectation of being on earth, then you've got it sweet. So this was your week 48 of this year. As I said, it was symbolically called the bubble and lightning. So really allow yourself to get those strikes of awareness, that reality check to come down and pierce that bubble, and then take that remembrance of what you've seen and how you felt elated, and then go through the process of understanding that now I need to put this brick here, and now I need to put this brick there, and this brick there, and build yourself back up to those moments of awareness. That's what this week was about. So if you like this, please give it a like, give it a comment, share it with your friends, and as I said in the last video, make sure you're following me on Instagram, which is @ToddSavvas, because I will be doing Tag Todd Tuesdays, where essentially you'll be able to tag yourself and a friend, and then I'll pick a card for you and your friend if you want. And also the other day I posted a pick your own card, which is essentially where I lay down 6 cards, I put them face down, and then I let everyone pick clairvoyantly or intuitively which one jumps out for them, and then about 30 minutes later I post the reverse of those cards. So it's a way for you to, in that moment, being able to just have a review or a refresh of what's going on with Spirit for you specifically. So if you're following me on Instagram, you'll be able to see the next one of those. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing next week.